at security differently. Very important, right? You know that some point of time in your journey for digitization, you might be breached, okay? What is your plan B? Do you have a plan B? That is very important again. Moving on. So ask the right question, very important. We need to ask the right questions to ourselves inside the organization. What is this right question? How ready we are, okay? Is your current security posture is effective, okay? How you got to know? You need to analyze if we are ready, are we as an organization, we are ready for different kind of threat factors, okay? What is the detection mechanism we have in place in case there is a new attack happening, okay? What is the response if we are breached? Because we know that someday, some point of time, we might get breached. So if we get breached, how quickly we can initiate the remediation activity? Very important, right? Moving on. This is what? This is the kind of OEMs who keeps bombarding you with different solutions in security. So it is very cluttered, right? If you see every piece, including network security, endpoint security, threat intelligence, SOC services, okay, application security, everywhere you have multiple players, not multiple players, 20 players, 25 players, and good players, they are offering different solutions to you. And Cisco is one of them. So why Cisco? I definitely need to tell you that part also. So if you keep buying, you know, if your organization is like 20 years old or 30 years old already into the existence, you might have started with a traditional antivirus those days and now building up the security infrastructure by bringing in newer and newer solutions. And you would be having at least 7 to 10 different security solutions at your landscape, okay? And you keep buying every solution from, one solution from vendor A, one solution from vendor B, one solution from vendor C, and it looks like this aircraft, you know. So it's something which is not very, very comforting when you are taken to the skies. So what happens? So traditionally, this is the situation we are facing. You know, last 20 years in our security landscape or in our infrastructure, what used to happen? It's like, as an CIO or CISO, we have a problem in security. We buy one more box. We release an RFP, we release a tender, we buy one more box. We feel very happy. Oh, new solution has come, implementation will happen, and we will feel safe and secure. Okay, this is the approach till now, but no more. So now, even if you keep bringing in different solutions, different boxes, that might not help you because the attacks have become very sophisticated. Okay, attack surfaces are different, which we are going to talk a little bit. So the traditional method of hacking or attacking your environment by a heap and spray method and bringing your entire organization's infrastructure down for 2 days, it doesn't happen nowadays. When I started my career, maybe 15 years back or 17 years back, what we used to see that a customer often used to reach us to us saying that all their PCs are down. Nowadays that doesn't happen, you know. Nowadays the attacks are different and every attack has a pattern and they follow a certain stages, you know. Right here you can see the first phase of an attack is a recon activity. The bad boys or the hackers, what we call typically, they try to zero down on the power user inside the organization. They're not concerned about me or my colleague. They will be only interested in the data residing in the power user's machine. Period. Now, once they do that, the weaponization phase comes into. What is weaponization? Weaponization is, how decide which weapon would be most effective for that particular attack. Okay, you have AK-47, you have AK-56, you have grenades and a lot many things, right? We heard in war-like situations. So similarly here also, you decide on the ammunition through which you want to attack the target. Okay. The next phase is the delivery. Now you decide you will use an mortar. Now how to launch the mortar? So you need to decide on the delivery. So it's very important that the bad guys, they decide how to come inside your network. That is the delivery phase. It might be with a plain email, through an attachment in the email. It might be a blended attack in terms of a very sophisticated link, which the receiver will open for sure. Like a CIO of a large bank, he is a wildlife photographer. He does in his vacation time. He goes to sanctuary. He has a Comet of big DSLR lenses, and he does wildlife photography. So a link came into his mailbox about an nice exotic trip to Masai Mara for 7 days for wildlife campaign. So he will definitely mostly he will click on that link. Okay, we did survey inside Cisco also how many employees click this kind of link, and almost 99% in Cisco employees also click. Okay, so this kind of delivery mechanism they uses, and then last phase is after the delivery. When you basically deliver the exploit kit into the environment of the targeted customer or targeted organization, you need to install the payload so that you can talk to the payload from outside and get relevant information, try to get administrative privileges and do data infiltration. So this is the process. So we all heard about WannaCry, right? One of the latest, largest breach happened in the industry. Nothing out of moon kind of reason we do have why it happened. It was a small Microsoft SMB vulnerability it exploited, and basically it took control of the personal computers of many power users and encrypt the data. And once you encrypt the data of the user, because this data is very important, you ask money to pay, and then that's what we call it ransomware. They basically ask from the users. So similarly, what I mean to say here, this kind of attack was known to Cisco IT, because Cisco IT again managed the entire IT infrastructure for Cisco globally. We have case study on how Cisco had a 50-day head start up to counter WannaCry kind of vulnerabilities. Similarly, another case study we have about Petya ransomware. If you're aware about the latest breaches in cybersecurity domain, Petya and Netya is one of the another very advanced threat attack happened in recent past. Again, Cisco IT could give the heads up much before this get proliferated into WWW. Moving on. So here, switching the track a little bit, I know a lot of you are from financial sectors or sectors which are defined by a lot of governance. So here I'm referring about our Reserve Bank of India in India, where they basically have defined certain regulations or guidelines for cyber security inside the organizations. What are the steps they should take? I'm not going into the deep. Few key points you need to just take away from here. Now, number one point is the cyber security resilience. Okay, you need to, as an organization, need to have an agile cyber security landscape inside your organization. Second, your cyber security policy and plan can't be part of your overall IT plan or infrastructure roadmap. Cyber security plan has to be separate inside the organization. It can't coexist with your IT policy. Okay. Third, RBI told all the banking sectors of banks or financial organizations in India that they need to have a security operations center to do proactive threat hunting, to do deep packet inspection of any incoming packets or files in the environment and what is happening inside the network. If there is any anomalies, the SOC team should be able to give heads up to the security team, and in return, security team to the board. Last but not the least, cyber security incidents reporting is very important. Though a few years back, when banks started to get compromised, or there is some breach happened with certain banks in our country, or rather in Nepal or in Bangladesh, we have seen like the way we have shown in the video. The organization never used to bother to report this kind of breaches. Now in India, what is happening? RBI has mandated. They have given a templatized document to the financial institute where every breach has to be reported, when it happened, what is the damage, what they need to do, what they have done. All these things they need to capture. It's very important. Okay, moving on. So that's what Indian impact I was talking about. I will not spend much time here. So a similar RBI guidelines for non-banking financial customers. I remember I had a meeting with Nepal Rashtriya Bank senior executives last year. We discussed about these things in that meeting. Okay, Similarly, for the insurance sector, also separate guidelines by IRDA, which are very important. We can discuss offline if you have some interest. We can talk about this. Okay. Moving on. So you can see this graph, right? So what we call it is a cyber security maturity graph. So now in this graph, there are all the security technologies, most of the security technologies today available for the customers to adopt. It's been shown in this graph, and you can see right from the antivirus through which we started our security journey, and today's your incident response or APT, advanced persistent threat hunting, deep packet inspection, network forensics, all this been mentioned here. The capability is increasing day by day. Now if you see here, our global peers are moving here. Global peers, if you see the US or America or European countries, the organizations out here, they're almost there in the green arrow. And if you see the India and Southeast Asia, Asian market and the organizations here, we are far below down in the value curve. What does it mean? We're still talking about adopting or investing in firewall, IPS, and APT devices. We have to travel way up in this value chain. Okay, that is the message I'm trying to convey here. Moving on. So what we're talking here, I will go a little faster now. So what we are talking here, the fragmented way of operating and acquiring cybersecurity solutions doesn't help much. The integrated story what Cisco proposes, one solution talks to the other, the second solution talks to the third solution. It helps in terms of giving an integrated approach to your cybersecurity posture. Similarly, it communicates better, less vulnerabilities, you need lesser resources to manage multiple products. It's